Hi folks, this is a demonstration of BaseCamp. I've got a couple base camps here in front of me. They are constructed from a length of strong nylon webbing and 2 custom designed plastic parts. The parts are blue because I only have blue PLA plastic right now to print these from. They will be made available in lots of different colors though, once the campaign succeeds. Now the way this works is you slip the BaseCamp onto the dog's neck. You find and adjust the size, and once you have that size, you wrap the leash around the collar. This will all be made clear in just a minute here. And once the leash is wrapped, it's tied in place with a cool plastic clip, and then you now have a leash whenever you need it. So whenever you need the leash, all you do is grab the end of the leash material, you pull it out of the clip, and you start unwinding it. And now I want you to notice that as I unwind this, that the leash material is going to come up towards the camera, and as I unwrap it, it's not going to come up the second time around. I have to actually go from the bottom down, and then I unwrap some more, but I'm not going to go bottom, I'm going to go out of the top. And that's an important part of the design. And once you unwrap it all the way, you'll see that you have a loop which makes the collar going through this plastic clip, and then you've got this other plastic clip that actually slides along the length, and that's important too. I'll explain that in a moment. And then you got this awesome long full-length leash. This is the best kind of leash you can get for your dog. This full-length leash is much preferable to retractable leashes because retractable leashes are basically designed to teach your dog to pull you over whenever you walk them. These are much better designed. These are what people use when they want to teach their dog to get better on/off leash. They're able to leave slack in the leash, and that indicates that they're doing a better job. That's the reason I wanted to make this a full-length, single-length leash instead of a retractable. Retractables are not my favorite, and there's a lot of research that says they teach bad habits. Now back to these plastic clips. Here's one that I printed just to kind of show you what it looks like off of the collar. It's bad quality because I just threw it together on the printer, but it's going to be much better quality with the injection molds. There are 5 rails. It took me a long time to figure out how exactly it would work, but the way you loop the leash material, the collar material, through the plastic part, it self-reinforces, so when you size it the first time, it's really not going to go anywhere until you tell it to. And what do I mean by that? We'll take a look. So I've adjusted this to my dog's neck size, and you can see that the way the leash material goes out to the left and then out to the right on the other side. I am pulling really hard right now, and it's not budging. Okay, so that's what I mean by self-reinforcing. The size is going to stay that size until, your dog's ready to grow or you're ready to take it off and give it to somebody else. If you want to adjust the size, all you do is slide the leash material up, you pull it through, and then now you've got a slightly bigger size. And that's important because, if your dog's growing, or if you want to, adjust the slack a little bit, or if you are going to use this for a couple of your dogs, and if you're taking them camping and you want to be able to easily remove it and add it. Adjusting the size is important, but maintaining the size once it's adjusted is equally important. The sliding clip here is really the most important part of the design. I mentioned earlier the way that the leash goes in one side and then goes on the other side, and the reason for that is because it provides a lot more stability. If the leash material were only falling in, let's say from right to left, right to left, right to left, and your dog's walking along, bouncing along, the stuff can just slide right out, and the leash material just falls out and kind of gets tangled up. And so I had to design to prevent that from happening, and I just came up with this quick, simple thing where you put the leash on this side, and then you wrap it around, and the next time it comes around, it goes on the opposite side. So it's actually, whenever it wants to fall off this way, the leash material on the layer above or below is going to say, actually, I'm going to go this way. So it holds it in place perfectly. And I didn't realize how well it would work until I tested it on my dog at the dog park for a week. The leash stayed on the collar the entire time, and it hasn't come off yet without me pulling on it. It's also partly because the buckle part has these walls to give it a little bit more stability. So this is going to look something like that. The leash will be laid down, you know, stacked on top of that a couple times, and now it's got a little wall to lean against instead of just slipping right off. It's got a wall. So this coupled with this means that the leash just does not come off the collar. It stays on that dang collar and does not come off. So when you're done with the leash, let's say you're heading back to the car and you want your dog to hop in, you just start wrapping it on the dog, and it actually takes about 5-10 seconds to wrap it on the dog. For the purposes of the demonstration, I wanted to do it a little bit slower, just to kind of give you an idea of how it actually works. You want to hold this piece down here pretty close to the buckle. It is adjustable, but just kind of at first you want to, just to figure out exactly how to wrap it the first time, just hold it right there, and then you start wrapping. So that's going to go in from on the bottom. You wrap some more. This is going to go in bottom to top. You wrap some more. And this is going to go top to bottom. Okay, so here's the thing. You can see that the leash material is nice and stacked on top of each other, but there's like a little bit of slack on this handle. It's kind of awkward. All you gotta do is take the plastic clip and slide it out, and now it holds it nice tight in place, and that thing is not going anywhere. Now I want you to take a look at this material. This is some pretty thick material that I was experimenting with. It's a thicker nylon that I want to use, and I'm actually not going to use this because you can tell it's actually pretty clunky. The handle is pretty thick, and basically the weight is not something I'm completely comfortable with. So I decided to use something a lot lighter, and that's what you see in the commercial videos. You see this version. This is made from a much thinner yet much stronger nylon webbing. It's a lot more lightweight. It is waterproof and washable. You can see the difference here. Let me just sort of stack the material on top of each other, and you can kind of see the difference. So that's a good, 30-40% decrease in material just by changing the thickness of the material. You can also see that this is where you throw your dog tags. My dog is Carl, and so I put Carl's tags on just with the ringlet like that. Whenever you want to wash the BaseCamp, you just take the tags off. I like to put it into a sock or something just to kind of keep it intact. Put it into a tube sock, throw it in the washing machine. So that's BaseCamp. Don't forget to check out the campaign page for more information.